Okay, so our second chapter in the mini-series, the INFJ Seven Deadly Sins, we're going to talk about the sin of pride today. Now, the sin of pride, again, at face value, at first sight, it doesn't seem to be the cardinal sin that we would typically associate with an INFJ personality. We'd be more inclined to associate it to, I don't know, maybe an INTJ, maybe an ENTJ, maybe, in fact, in some ways, it could also be associated with like high FI users. But like even to high FI users, like an ENFJ, you might say, can have this sort of covered up pride that manifests as altruism. It has this pride animating it underneath. INFJs, though, like this, does it often occur to us to say INFJs are often too proud? That's the issue. Okay, would we often come across individual INFJs that we wish we could get on with better, but alas, they're a little bit too proud for their own good. I'm not saying that it never happens to INFJs. What I'm saying is that if we were to sort of draw averages statistically, I don't think that the sin of pride would be the first that comes to mind. In fact, what I would argue is that sometimes INFJs, and this is something that they can really learn from INTJs actually, because no matter how similar INFJs and INTJs are on so many levels, there are clear differences, and one major difference, and I think it has to do with the INTJ's FI, is that INTJs tend to be totally okay with the idea that there's such a thing as positive, healthy pride. So long as it's not denigrating others, so long as it is not mere narcissism, mere navel gazing, so long as it is not just about berating your neighbor or downplaying the merits of other people who are achievers. There's such a thing as to be proud of one's achievements, proud of what one has done, particularly say if it's for the greater good, or and you know, there's even a possible interpretation of even such a philosopher as Aristotle that would lead us to conclude that there is such a thing as healthy pride. Somewhat akin to how parents can be really proud of their children, a friend can be really proud of their friend's success in some endeavor, sport endeavor, educational, you know, or something else. You know, I'm proud of you. When we say I'm proud of you, that's certainly not construed to mean something negative, to mean something life-hating, to mean something contaminating. It's a good thing. And we can apply this to oneself if we love ourselves healthily. Now, the problem with the INFJ is often that INFJs, consciously or not, confuse modesty and humility with self-hate or self-denigration. Conversely, that means that they often tend to construe on the part of someone else self-valuation, healthy, balanced self-valuation that is not shy about it, as arrogance. You know, that an INTJ would be completely okay with it, would think it's a good thing. An INFJ would have more of an issue with it, often because the INFJ is compliant, because most INFJs are compliant, and the compliant INFJ knows deep down that they lack pride. They don't have enough self-pride. They don't have enough of the self-pride that arises out of correct trust in NI and right attunements with NI. That is to say, to kind of hold to wear their otherness and alienness on their sleeves. This is a point that I make in the Infinite Soul. I make it a lot in the Infinite Soul. Get this book, by the way, on INFJ Life in a Modern World at the link below. This is my latest book on the INFJ. To wear your alienness on your sleeves, to wear also what your peculiar talents on your sleeve. Compliance find it hard to do, to be proud of who they are. That's also a way of bringing in another deadly sin that we will cover separately in a whole video, which is a very important sin to consider, often underestimated in the life of INFJs, and that's the sin of envy. INFJs are quite envious people. It's hard to admit to ourselves because envy is not a pretty sin. No sin is, but it makes sense. When you're likely to be compliant, you're not living up to who you could be because you're a little bit ashamed of what you could be. When you see other people not being ashamed and being who they could be, they're going to see that they lack the pride to be the same, but they're also going to be envious of someone who's able to be proud in that balanced, healthy way. So envy is very important, but we'll discuss that in a separate video. I think with pride, we have a very interesting example, particularly in the compliant INFJ, something that is addressed and repaired in spiritualization with the centering of the personality, but of a deadly sin that is in fact not, it's a sin by its excess of absence, lack of pride. Maybe this healthy, balanced pride I'm talking about could be given a different name, but I don't think so, because again, we do say we're proud of our friends, we're proud of our children, we're proud of our country when it does something really good. You know, say, I was proud of France when France refused to take part in the Iraq War, things like that. This is clearly something that's positive associated with pride. And INFJs often, when they reckon with their more insecure leanings and reckon with the possibility of spirit and a spiritualization, that journey is a journey that is the journey of a peculiar person. It has the notion of a destiny at the heart of it. It has the notion of a convergent path and seeing into the future at the heart of it. That implies that you're somehow singular and special. Can you accept it? That's the challenge. Okay, guys, don't forget you can support me on Patreon. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. Could not do it without you guys, and I need you more than ever. Link is below. You get access to bonus video content every 2-3 weeks and access to our special Discord server where you can interact with me on a daily basis, as well as the other members of our great community. And also don't forget about the Ecstatic Soul, my first book on the INFJ. A new look at the INFJ personality, to this day the deepest investigation into the INFJ mind you'll find online. If you haven't got it, definitely get it at the link below. And I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.